What's up, and welcome back to the Scuffed Ass Podcast for episode number 274. I don't know how to feel. I did my job. We have topics. We have actual things to talk about today. I didn't pre-prep Wonder with any of them because I'm a good person. I think that's how that works.
That makes you a good person?
Yes. It makes it more interesting, at least. I'm only kind of pre-prepped. But how you been, Wonder?
Fucking terrible, honestly.
Damn, why?
It has been a long-ass weekend between trying to get my girlfriend graduated and grab all of her stuff and get it hauled back down here.
Oh, yeah, it was graduation.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yes.
Nice.
She got graduated, at least.
Nice.
Been very stressful. And finally got everything loaded up and headed back. She didn't come home with me. She's staying up there until Tuesday because her grandparents are staying there until Tuesday. So she wanted to stay with them. Cool, fine, whatever. I'm coming home, and I get in between the two towns that have no service, the north and south town.
Yeah.
And I blow a tire on the trailer that I have. It's a dual axle trailer,
Yeah.
so it's got 4 tires. So I blow a tire.
Don't have a spare.
I did have a spare, but it was buried in the trailer where I couldn't get to it.
Worse than not having one, I think.
Yes. So, but it was the front tire on the left side, on the driver's side, that blew, and it blew, and a big old chunk of rubber come around and tore the fender off of the trailer also. So there's this big old nice, stainless steel fender, and it just tore that off and sent it into oncoming traffic. Luckily, there was a car that was far enough, away that it seen what was happening and was able to slow down and move. It was in a 2-lane also on their side, so he was able to get over and avoid it. So it took me about a half a mile to get stopped, and I got my hazards on, and I jumped out of the truck, and I ran all the way back to where that fender was, where another dude had already stopped and drug it off the side of the road, and then he stuck it in the back of his truck, and I got to him about the time he got it into his truck, and he was like, "Would you like a ride back to your vehicle?" And I'm all out of breath. I'm like, "Yes, please." And so he gives me a ride, drops me off. I get the socket out because I did have a wrench with the right size socket, and so I get that out. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna pull the front tire off. And the good thing about having dual axle is you could limp your way on 3 tires.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna have to pull this blown up tire off and then see if I can limp all the way home.
Yeah.
And I get 2 lug nuts broke free, go to the third one, and I start cranking on it, and the deep wall socket, impact socket, splits in half, and I lay my finger open. Unfortunately,
definitely not as bad as you did, I'm sure, but I've been cutting the shit out of my hands recently for some reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, I was just bleeding all over the place, and
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a. Now what do I do? Because that's the only socket I had and wrench. So I'm like, what do I do now? Because the tire rod the tire set that I have for the truck is too big for the trailer. And so I'm like, wow, gosh, dang. And I have no service. I'm in a spot that has 0 service for like miles.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what the hell am I going to do? And all of a sudden, here comes this guy, this old farmer in a beater truck, pulls up behind me, and he goes, "You need some help?" And I go, "You wouldn't happen to have an impact in your truck, would you?" And he goes, "Actually, I do." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God." And he hops out, and he just, and I take the tire off, and throw it in the pickup along with the fender, and then I proceed to drive 45 miles an hour for like, I don't know, 40 miles home.
Yikes.
So now I feel really bad because I borrowed Cody's parents' trailer, and the tire blew and fucked up the fender.
I mean, the tire
And
blowing is not your fault.
I know, but I still used it, and it had to fucking blow when I was using it.
Of course it did. Duh. Dumbass. You should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. You know this.
Yep, it's exactly. Yeah. And then to make matters worse, I'm stupid because where I remember the wheel was at is not where it was actually at for the spare.
Oh, so you totally could have gotten to it pretty easily.
I could have actually gotten to it pretty easily. So I felt like an idiot.
Nice.
But I mean, I don't have to worry about taking it off now to put new tire on and Cody's parents are cool about it. They're like, oh, don't worry about the tire. They probably needed to replace it anyway, And I'm like, yeah, but I still feel bad and I feel like I should pay for the tire and the fender since it was me that broke it when I was driving, Yeah, but I don't know. I'm all stressed out now. I'm running very low on funds as it is, thanks to
moving.
Moving and medical bills that are going to be coming.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
We already got the first one that's almost $2,000.
Yeah.
And that one, she didn't even get any drugs or anything like that for that one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the next one's gonna hit
the next one, she got the good stuff, the old morphine. So I know the next one's gonna be like freaking $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a very stressful weekend. I'm stressed out about fucking everything.
Valid.
I don't want to go to work tomorrow because there's a shit ton of stuff to do that's on my plate at work. And I'm stressed out about that too.
Nice. So this doesn't help for anytime soon, but whatever day I finally convince you to come down here this summer, I found a place we have to go. It's like a block and a half from my house, so we can just walk there. I have already forgotten the name, but that's fine. I will see it again when I walk to the store next time I go, so it's not a big deal.
Uh-huh.
But there is it's not, I don't even think it's an actual bar. It is just a place to go play darts. It is a darts, God, what is it called? Now I'm mad. I don't know if I actually want to say it because that'll just tell people where I live. But I want to
tell me later.
Well, I just want to figure out what the fuck.
Yeah.
It was. Because it's. Oh, yeah. So it is a bar, I guess. Which isn't surprising.
Right.
But I was looking at it because I looked at it the other day because I wanted to go there. They do weird food for a place that is to play darts.
Mm-hmm.
They do they have a lobster elote dip. These are their small plates. They have hummus for some reason. They have some kind of normal things like just sliders and tacos, barbacoa tacos, which intriguing. But then they also have poke tacos, which is tuna. I think. I don't know. They have a weird selection of food is the bigger thing. But it is just straight up a place to go play darts. Could be kind of cool. You have to book it, which is interesting. But I want to go play darts. If I could just walk in, I'd probably just go there one night when I was bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've done anything exciting. So wonder, I know this doesn't fully count, but how fast do you normally run a mile?
A mile?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of when because I did run a mile, and
Yeah.
um,
Because I know this
trying to
is
think
not fully comparable, but you also have to remember I'm fat.
what is the average
That's a good question.
person that runs a mile?
9 to 10 minutes.
9 to 10 minutes.
Oh, well, okay. I'm not going to trust that. I'm going to click something else. I'm so sick of the fucking.
Because I
Okay,
actually had
so
a
for
pretty
like
decent mile.
our age, the top 50% of males is between 8 minutes 45 seconds and 8 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah, so I felt like I don't know why, but I want to say it was in like the 6 minute mark, somewhere in there.
I'd believe it.
I know I had a pretty good. I wasn't a distance runner, but I did run the mile one time, and it was actually a fairly decent run.
But I have been, actually trying to work out consistently lately. Haven't the last few days. I fucked up my stomach somehow, and not like my actual stomach, like from eating stuff, but like something in my stomach area just wasn't right for a few days, so I didn't go work out. I didn't want to fuck myself up more.
Yeah.
So like I just went for like a regular ass walk around downtown Denver this morning. That was certainly something. But no, I am basically on like, so I guess let me do some math real quick. So based on the times I have just been using the elliptical because it hurts my knee a lot less, as one does. But I am consistently on an under 8 minute pace per mile and running like 4 miles every morning, which is kind of cool for a fucking fat guy.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I would like to bet that the average person my size couldn't do that even on an elliptical.
True. Well, I mean, have you seen your freaking calves though?
You should see them now. I had to throw away a pair of pants because I couldn't get them over my calves. Yeah. It's a little ridiculous. But, yeah.
I'm down like 9 pounds just because of how stressed out I've been the last couple of weeks.
Being that from stress isn't great, but
after a couple of months.
Yeah. Any news on if there's going to be game night next week?
I think there is game night next week, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
Are you going to be down here Friday next week?
I leave here probably like 3-4 p.m. on Friday, so I'll be home like 7-8-ish.
Okay, well, we might have to do something late Friday because I just found out that I have to work Saturday.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. And
yeah.
And I'm supposed to go to town to do a whole bunch of shopping, which I don't know if that's going to happen because we're going to be pressed for money for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. That's fair.
I want to try and do stuff Friday with you.
And we shall try.
I don't want to miss an opportunity with you being down here to go make some videos. And
well, at worst, we'll just go to game night on Sunday. I think I'm still planning to do that. I need to text Heath at some point this week. Make sure he's cool with that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hide it from everybody else.
Yeah, nothing else. Dan can have you be the big bad evil guy or something.
Right. I'm good at being the evil guy.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
But yeah. So getting into first the Rockies, because we talked about them a little last week and it's fun to make fun of them. So they're on pace to be the worst team of all time. We've been over this. They are currently, I think, a 7 and what is their record? Hold on, they have 7 wins, which is not good. They are 7-33. They won today, snapping like an 8-game losing streak. But yesterday they lost 21-0 in baseball.
Oh my God.
The only pitcher that pitched for the Rockies to not give up a run was their catcher. He pitched for 2 innings. He's not a pitcher, but he's the only one to not give up a run. Bradley Blaylock, making his, I think, 3rd career start, gave up a Rockies record 12 earned runs. No pitcher had ever given up more runs in a single outing for the Rockies. Yeah, that team's atrocious. All right, Wonder. We've got a couple things we can talk about. You want to talk about some AI stuff? You want to talk about companies being really shitty? I guess there's 2 different AI things, 2 different really shitty company things, and then 2 interesting things. Where do you want to start?
Let's do AI.
Okay. We'll start with this one first because I think it's the one that actually matters the most to you, but is not the most important one. So one of the things AI is being used for currently is we haven't played Counter-Strike in a long time. But on Counter-Strike, in like all public lobbies, like a solid chunk, I don't want to give a percentage because it wouldn't be accurate, but a solid chunk of players are not players. They have an AI model running the game for them while also having an aimbot hooked up. So the AI model with an aimbot is playing for them while they leave and don't play the game because they just want cases, I guess. So it's no longer just bots. It's bots with aimbot. Aimbot bots.
You can't even outsmart the
Guess
hackers
not.
now. Because the hacker's literally a computer.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can get more information on it. I heard about this, but I don't have like a full like article like I do for everything else we're going to talk about. I just heard people talking about this, and that's just terrifying. Yeah, I just found a thing for it on GitHub, which is a place to download code and different mods and stuff. And it's an AI aimbot. Yeah. Insane. And it is currently completely undetectable by anti-cheat systems. Nice. I hate it. I hate it here. The second AI thing is fucking awful. A family in where is this? In Arizona created an AI video to depict a man addressing his killer in court. Not only was this AI video of a dead guy used in court, the judge allowed it. So, a simulation of a dead man created by artificial intelligence. I read that weird. A simulation of a dead man created by artificial intelligence addressed his killer in an Arizona court this month. Made by his family, an AI-generated avatar of Christopher Pelkey spoke in Maricopa County Superior Court on May 1st as a judge prepared to sentence Gabriel Paul something for shooting and killing Pelkey in a 2021 road rage incident. Um, the avatar. This is a quote. "It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. The dead man's AI avatar said in the video, in another life, we probably could have been friends." Well, okay. The Pelkey avatar appears in the video sporting a long beard and a green sweatshirt against a white backdrop. He cautions at the start that he is an AI version of Pelkey, which is apparent through the gaps in audio and slightly mismatched movement of his mouth. Pelkey was a U.S. Army veteran and was 37 at the time of the shooting. The video marked a novel use of AI in the legal system. I don't understand how code of a dead man can be used. I don't.
So it wasn't. So it's not as bad as I initially thought when you said that.
No, it's as bad.
Well,
here
it wasn't used as like evidence.
No, but it kind of was. So here, I'm going to continue reading. Pelkey's relatives were given more leeway to present the AI generated video to the judge at sentencing. So it wasn't fully evidence, but it was used the family said they wanted the AI video to push the judge for the maximum sentence. It wasn't used as evidence, but it was used to sway the opinion of the judge. And it did, because the judge goes on to say, like, I need the exact quote. Where the fuck? I don't know where his exact quote is, but the judge straight up said, like, that video makes it feel like maybe he wouldn't have wanted the full, like, maximum sentence and, like, maybe all this stuff. And then he passed down the maximum sentence anyways because there was no point. But the fact that it was even allowed in a courtroom is a scary precedent to set. Because now you're letting a computer simulation of a person who is no longer alive speak as if they are that person. Maybe it didn't matter much in this, but it will at some point, and that's not good.
Right. Well, see, I would look at it. The intentions of the family was skewed, in my opinion. They were trying to push for a maximum sentence. I would have been doing it to try and make the person that murdered my family member feel more like shit. That would be my, like, who I could stand up there and tell him how bad of how shitty of a person he is or whatever, and he may or may not, be affected by it. But if you get the person that you actually murdered, even if it's even slightly like the person as an AI person, that they're slightly similar in their demeanor and how they look and talk. I don't know. I feel like that would be like a psychological, like, more of a realization, like, hey, I killed this person. This feels like this person that I killed is talking to me, and he's making me, feel like shit. I don't know. I feel like it could be like a psychological thing, because family members are allowed to go up and speak their piece, basically. I hope you go to hell, and I hope you burn in hell, and, I hope every day in prison is just miserable for you, and blah, 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 stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like I could see that aspect of it, but also trying to use it as a way to sway anything in court should not be a thing.
But to be fair, what you just mentioned the family doing is also trying to sway things in court. That is what you're doing with any sort of play on emotions like that. It's the same thing, which also just shouldn't be allowed. The point of a courtroom is to assess the facts of a situation, which can be really tough, because if whoever investigated the situation fucked up any of the facts, that's on them. It's the way a lot of bad people get to walk free, because you gotta the prosecuting side has to be correct. That's a whole different argument, though. But, like, the ethical concerns of being able to use AI like this, or just use AI in general, I'm sorry, AI is still fucking useless. Every person that I speak to that tells me they use AI instead of like actually just Googling things pisses me off because I know you're fucking stupid. Brain no worko. AI has never gotten a thing accurate, ever. Not one time.
Right. Even AI Luke.
Right. I still play with AI all the time. I find it very interesting. But I would never use it to try to do a thing. Like, I'm not going to... Well, I asked ChatGPT, and it said... It's like, no. If I asked ChatGPT, you know what I'm doing after that? I'm going to go try to figure out where it got that information and figure out if it was right or not. Because one thing, weirdly, that AI hasn't figured out how to do still is understand dates. So people were trying to schedule a thing just like to see if ChatGPT would work. And so it was like, it kept trying to schedule this thing for Saturday, May 11th. Can you tell me why that wouldn't work? You're not paying attention.
I'm trying to, sorry. Anyway.
The AI kept trying to schedule things for Saturday, May 11th. Can you tell me what is wrong with that date?
Oh,
because if you just saw it on a piece of paper or on the screen, it would probably look correct until you looked down and realized that's not a date.
Is a Sunday.
Yep. So you're screwed because if it schedules
May 11th probably landed on a Saturday at some point in time.
Well, no, absolutely. But like, you're screwed if it was supposed to be. If you were trying to schedule something for May 11th or this Saturday, whichever way you were supposed to go with it, you're totally screwed because it's going to get it wrong.
Right. But that's the problem with AI. It can pull information from a massive line of numbers and information. Like, it can't determine if information is true or false. It just knows it exists as information. So I could create an article or a Wikipedia or anything like that with completely false information, and you ask AI something, and AI will go, oh, here's a Wikipedia account that says something about this, and then gives you that information, even though it's completely false. That's just the thing that they came across first, you know? AI cannot determine, whether or not things are factual yet. Not saying it can't. No,
but it can't, because the issue is, maybe it could, but it probably can't, and it's because the sources it's pulling from where it's getting its answers wrong are stating something as if it's fact. It's something. So I guess I guess we're going to stick on the AI topic because it kind of fits with what's next. So I'm going to bring it up. NVIDIA, the people who made our graphics cards. NVIDIA is releasing the RTX 5060 this week. I think that
I already bought it on the way.
I sure hope not.
I'm just kidding. I don't have money.
Yeah. Well, maybe the 5060 is why.
Yeah.
It's about $5,060 is probably what it's going to cost, because I'm sure they made 7 of them. Well, it's the thing with NVIDIA. They just don't make product anymore.
Oh.
I'm sure they made 7. But currently the thing going on with NVIDIA is they've decided reviewers... So say what you will with NVIDIA, whether it's their job to send... Okay, we got to get into a fun topic here about reviewers, because some people on the internet piss me off. Because I don't understand this argument. Well, Linus Tech Tips and Jay's 2 Cents and Tom's Hardware and all these people, they're already rich, so why do they get sent this free stuff by companies? Well, they get sent the free stuff early so they can test it and review it, so you can be an informed consumer and know what the fuck you're buying. Well, NVIDIA has decided that's no longer important. And it's not just not giving people a graphics card, because most of these people have said, we'll just buy our own in that case. It doesn't fucking matter. We're just going to do reviews. But NVIDIA has always released drivers early to the press so that they could actually test the cards on how they will look at launch. They're not giving them drivers. The drivers will release after the card comes out. So there will be no reviews at the launch of the card. So people, and a lot of people will, buy this card without ever seeing a review, which is awful.
Yeah, that's terrible. Don't do that, people.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
NVIDIA's being really scummy about it, which is not good, because they announced the release for the day Computex starts. I think it's Computex, a big computer show in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are the drivers not here early, the day that they release, most major tech reviewers won't be somewhere where they can test the fucking card anyways. They're going to be on a plane to Thailand.
Ew.
That's such scummy behavior. This does wrap back into AI, because NVIDIA is being NVIDIA because they're the biggest proponent of AI. I'm trying to remember what the initial point of why I wanted to get here was, but my brain completely fried. I don't remember what we were previously AI is, I know I was talking about AI being confidently wrong all the time.
Yeah. That's pretty much the majority of it.
There was something else, though, but my brain has completely forgotten. I blame you.
That it cannot be factually correct.
True, but I lost it. Maybe it'll come back. Probably won't, but that's upsetting. But yeah, the RTX 5060, I have trouble recommending anything new from NVIDIA. I know part of it was we are in a world where good things may be happening. Intel started making graphics cards a couple years ago with, God, what was their first generation called? I think it was Archangel. And then it was and now we have Battle Mage, and we're waiting on, the fuck was their C? Hold on. Intel graphics. Oh, so I got it. It finally clicked. Looking up Intel graphics cards made it click. So after Archangel came out, right, the first set of Intel GPUs, they were not very good, but they were okay, which is good, because NVIDIA and AMD are the only creators of graphics cards right now. We need another company to disrupt the market. Yeah, the first generation wasn't good. The second generation, Intel has been very focused on like the lower end GPU, which sounds bad, but that's where the majority of people are spending money. That is because that's what people have. A $250 GPU that can perform well is great. AMD and NVIDIA just don't have one anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The 5060 is supposed to be that, and I think the 5060 is going to retail at, looks like, $400. Oh, no. Ooh, it's a little better. It's $300. That's not great. It's a $300 card with just 8 gigs of VRAM, and we don't know any specs any like actual performance numbers, because NVIDIA won't give reviewers the chance to fucking check it.
Right.
So that's cool. But the Intel B580 is cheaper and is a 12 gigs of VRAM card, which is a lot more and is much more important for any new modern AAA title. Intel is actually at a point where they can disrupt the market at the point where gamers actually exist. Like, they can get themselves into a lot more gamers' systems. I know me and you are sitting here with very much higher end NVIDIA cards, But
Right.
that's a different level, and most people aren't spending that. Most people are spending on their entire computer what both of us put into our GPUs, and that's okay.
It's true.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That just is. Like, it just is how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I was bringing this up was the AI being confidently wrong. It is because the information they are fed. They're fed every scrap of information.
Mm-hmm.
Which means when there's this YouTuber whose name I don't remember, it's not important. But since the launch of the original Archangel cards, sorry, it wasn't Archangel, it was Alchemist. Apologies. It just clicked in my head that it was Intel Alchemist, not. Even though none of that matters. That was just it was because they were like A580 was like the card name, and the A stood for Alchemist for some reason. It's code names.
I see. Okay.
So it's just the code name. It doesn't really matter, but he basically every day after they came out would post a video talking about, yeah, Intel's graphics team is dead. Battle Mage is never coming. And then it did, because he was wrong the entire time. He still makes videos saying constantly that Celestial is never coming. It will. But it's people like that just put that misinformation out there. The AI doesn't know that it's misinformation. It just reads it as information. So then if you ask it, hey, is Intel's Celestial GPUs canceled? It might tell you yes. I don't actually know. Fuck it. We'll do it live. I'm looking at chat. I'm loading up Chat GPT. We're going to ask it. Graphics cards. It's searching the web. Ooh, it doesn't have it wrong yet. At least that part. I'm not doing a deep dive because it's giving me a whole list of shit. So I don't know how much of it's right or wrong. Mm-hmm. But like, I do know it doesn't have it saying it's canceled already. We're still working on Celestial. Any other piece of this information, don't trust until I took the time to look it up. Which, that's my issue with AI. To use AI properly, it takes more time than to just Google it.
Right.
And no, I don't mean just listen to Google's AI. That's the first thing that pops up either. That one is also constantly wrong. It's more wrong, actually. All the time.
Right.
Google's AI is atrocious. AI is atrocious. I hate it. I hate it here. I keep seeing people make AI I saw an AI version of Star Wars. They're like, this is better than anything Disney does. And it's like, I hate you. I hate everything about you. The fact that you think something AI is good makes me want to throw you off a cliff. Especially when it comes to art of any kind. Because there's no soul in it. Yeah, but AI makes it so people with ideas can do it. No, people with ideas have always been able to make things. You just have to actually want to. AI just makes it easy for you lazy motherfuckers who don't want to do anything to be able to do it. And I don't like that. Stop being fucking lazy. I hate the, well, AI art just means we don't have to pay artists. It's like, well, you're paying them because they took the time to learn it. The fucked up thing about it, AI is, yeah, maybe it took the time to learn it, but it did that by stealing other people's art.
Right.
You've got to be fucking kidding me, dude.
That's like stealing a cow and burning the old brand off and putting your own brand on it and saying, oh, this is original. This is my cow to begin with.
Yeah, this is my cow.
That's definitely not cattle rustling.
No. Oh, so wonder if you make it to a store and have an extra $4 anytime soon. $4 is a guess. I don't know how much a can of Pringles actually costs. I don't remember.
Probably about $4.
I know you're going to hate this, but based just on the name, but it's a Miller Lite collaboration with Pringles.
I already have them.
Oh, the beer braised steak. They're weirdly good.
I honestly agree. I had the chicken one also.
I didn't have the chicken one, but
they're both really good, actually.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I thought this was good. I thought I was gonna eat it, and it was gonna taste too much like Miller Lite, and I was gonna be like, nah, this is awful.
But it didn't.
But I was like, I gotta try it.
Yep.
And I tried it, and I was like, huh, it tastes pretty good. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it just clicked because they were sitting there. So then, speaking of companies being shitty, everyone's favorite anti-consumer company, Nintendo, is back in the news.
Oh.
Because it has now granted itself the power to brick your Nintendo Switch if you play pirated games. So, Nintendo's latest legal move to combat piracy might be super effective, but according to a change in the new Nintendo user agreement, the console maker can brick your Switch, or, in layman's terms, render it useless, if it's found with pirated games or mods. While some people probably glazed over the changes since Nintendo didn't make this a major announcement, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Nintendo's own words, you shouldn't bypass, modify, decrypt, defeat, tamper with, or otherwise circumvent any of the functions or protections of the Nintendo account services. The company's previous agreement only prohibited you from adapting, reverse engineering, or modifying a Nintendo user account. So you couldn't mess with the Nintendo stuff itself. But now, technically, just playing a pirated game, so a cartridge that didn't get made by Nintendo, they can just brick your Switch and it will never work again. Ever. So, officially, you buy a Nintendo. You do not own a Nintendo. You borrowed it.
So, in other words, I am not buying a Nintendo anytime soon.
Yep. I will continue to play my Nintendo games. Yep. That's best you're going to get out of me. No. I stand by piracy is a weird thing. I think pirating movies is lame. If you want to watch a movie, go to the theater and pay for the experience, or just use whatever streaming service it comes out on. And if you don't want to pay for it, you didn't want to see the movie that badly, and that's okay. When it comes to movies, that's my view. When it comes to video games, I'm in a little weirder spot. I think you should still pay for it. But specifically in the case of Nintendo, because it's the only one where this is really a problem and emulation can be needed, I'm not a fan of, not only do you have to buy our console because whatever, but it will never be available anywhere else. And if we decide to shut down the store for it like they did with the Wii, some games will just never be playable again, and I think that's disgusting. So the way I play Nintendo games is I go to a GameStop, buy the Nintendo game as a physical copy, and then I emulate it. Nintendo still gets their money because I think they should be paid for their work. And it's not even Nintendo. I don't care about them. Fuck Nintendo, if we're honest. It's the actual game developers who worked on the game. Like, game sales matter to that group of people a lot. We keep seeing game studios fire everybody the minute a game's released. Why? Because they don't want to have to pay them for each individual sale like they are supposed to. Game companies are shitty. So, while they're not doing that, buy the games. But I'm never going to play it on a Nintendo console because Nintendo sucks. That's why I want a Steam Deck so goddamn bad, because it makes emulating so much easier. A Steam Deck or like an ROG Ally. They're working on an Ally too. What about your second Ally?
My thing is about it is like they can obviously they made the things be able to determine when there's a pirated game being played.
Yeah.
Why not just make it so the game goes, oh, this is a pirated game. It won't work.
Because fuck you.
No, we're gonna destroy the console or the thing you paid for.
Force you to buy another console. Spend more money.
Force you to buy
Give me more money.
Yeah, that's just greedy, and also like how many young kids out there are gonna be like have their buddy be like, oh yeah, hey, you can borrow my game, not realizing that it's a game that's like pirated,
Yeah.
and they stick there and this game, this console that they've been so excited to play,
But
brand
what if you
spanking new, gets
know it's
fucking
pirated
bricked.
and you're just being an asshole? Like,
Right,
you got to
exactly.
remember how shitty humans are. Also,
Exactly, yeah.
like,
Yeah, you can borrow my game here.
yeah, right? And like, this isn't surprising knowing what we know about Nintendo. I mean, we're talking about the
Right.
company who won't let anyone host tournaments based on their games. We're talking about a company who copyright strikes streamers and YouTubers for playing their games online. We're talking about a company who copyright strikes people for watching trailers for their games. You want creators making react content on your trailer because that means
Right.
more people are going to see the fucking trailer. And more people, like, this is a real argument, especially for watching video game trailers, is people watching me react to the... Now, there are certain games. Grand Theft Auto 6, I'm sorry, everybody's seeing the trailer. Did you see the most recent GTA 6 trailer?
I have, yeah.
Oh my God. My computer's gonna explode. I'm excited. Well, I am narrowing my expectation. Not for GTA 6, but I have to remember I don't get to play GTA 6 for 3 years. Neither do you. Unless we both buy it twice. Because like every other GTA game, it will release in May of next year. That's the release date. But it will be 2 years after that when it finally comes to PC for some fucking reason. That's how GTA 5 worked. That's how GTA 4 worked. That's how Vice City worked. So I don't get to play it for 3 years. So who fucking cares? Like, the reason I watched the trailer is because the technology looks cool, especially knowing, as they showed in the trailer, that was rendered on a PS5. I don't know what you know about the internals of a PS5, but that means it was basically rendered on a Radeon RX 5700 XT. That is not that powerful of a GPU. Or no, it wasn't. It wouldn't be a 5700 XT. It would just be a 5700. That's incredible. The level of detail and amount of graphical fidelity that they're able to get out of just a PS5 makes me excited to see when I finally get to play it how good it will look.
Yeah, see how quickly we can brick a computer.
I hope that I'm wrong, and because they had over 10 years of a development cycle this time, that it comes to PC right away, because it should. But I know the track record, so I'm just believing that it'll be an extra 2 years, because if I'm wrong, then I'm happy. And if I'm right, then I'm right. Cool.
Right. Yeah. I just can't believe that like each and every house that's in this game is supposed to be able to just walk into, and there's just people.
Dude. And this map is like 3 times the size of GTA 5. This shit's going to be ridiculous.
Right.
So do you think the entire world shuts down for a week after the release of that game?
I might take a week of vacation.
That's what I mean. Everybody's going to. And like when people go, yeah, but it'll just be the gamers. It's like, yeah. So the people who run every bit of critical infrastructure in this country, like, let's be honest, those are the gamers. It's not normally just the guy working the office job. No, it is that guy sometimes. But like most of the time, it's the fucking nerd who makes sure your company operates. Your company just can't exist for 2 weeks because he wants to play a fucking video game.
I just hope they beef up their servers because it's about to be a shit ton of people.
I think Rockstar's servers are pretty used to that. GTA 5 is still ridiculously played. I think they're not Call of Duty. They don't go into it with 7 slots in their server saying this should be enough and then wondering why it's not.
Right. I feel like they're probably going to break records.
Oh, yeah. I still have a feeling that's going to be a $100 game. At minimum.
Probably.
At minimum.
Probably. Worth it.
Oh, yeah.
If it is, say it is, worth it.
Yeah. I just hope that in the next year I can get big enough as a streamer that I can get a review copy and play it early. That is my goal now. That is my goal for the next 6 months, is to just be able to get a review copy and play it early.
You can on PS5.
Cool. I'll play it early. Just so I can post a review and be like, yeah, this is exactly what we expected. Or in the unfortunate case of like, no, this is a cyberpunk situation. Wait 6 months. I'm sure it will get there. It's not there yet. Because like, if you look, cyberpunk should have been delayed again. But to be fair, people get so worked up because they hate when a game is broken on launch, but they also hate when a launch is pushed back. So as a company, you just have to take the hate one way or the other. I think more companies should be willing to just take the hate, keep the game in-house, and then send it out. But I also think there's a lot of errors you're not going to find until it's sent out and millions of people are playing it instead of hundreds. Like, there's a lot of circumstance. Like, it's the thing with, like, finding Easter eggs in games, right? Like, if you play Jedi Survivor and you push the button on the train 66 times, you get Palpatine's voice line saying, execute Order 66. Yes, a dev put that in the game. But, like, if you only gave the game to 100 people, you're probably not finding that. The minute it goes to mass release, it gets found. Because there's one fucking idiot who's dumb enough to try it.
Right.
Like, and so you need the mass release. You need the mass bug test that is the initial release. I stand by for video games. You want to wait at minimum a week, but wait until the first big update. Because the mass release is just going to find all of the bugs that nobody knew were there because it's in an experience that isn't just something that the average group of 100 people would think of. You need a sample size of 1 million for somebody to find it. That's just how it be. But with my luck, it would be me that finds the fucking thing. That's me in every video game. You know me in finding every stupid bug that makes no fucking sense in every video game. Wonder's upset.
Yeah. Oh, no. 9:30 folks are coming over.
Oh, okay. We've got
hopefully that's past our hour.
It will be.
Oh, good.
More than. Well, I shouldn't say more than. It will be, but it's cutting it close. So you remember reading about company towns, like towns that existed because everyone in that town worked for a company?
Oh, yeah.
So we're bringing those back, apparently. Amazon is working on one. And Tesla has one in Texas now.
Interesting.
Well, apparently multiple, actually. So SpaceX employees in South Texas have voted to create a new town of Starbase and elect fellow employees as its mayor and city commissioners. The nearly unanimous vote on Saturday made Elon Musk, in addition to the world's richest man and head of Doge, the employer of... Oh, yeah. So the vote made him the employer of the entire government of what amounts to a SpaceX company town. It's getting called Starbase, Texas, and it is now a real city.
Huh.
So it's at the southern tip of Texas as... Yeah.
Why do I feel like this would be like living in a big ass HOA?
Dude, it's a cult. It's a cult. This is a cult. And it makes no fucking sense. Because I don't know how much any of us know about the real world. But how many people do you know that have only ever worked a singular job in their life? Like, and I don't mean like a single thing that they've done, like been a welder, but they bounced around. No, I mean like they got hired at this place, never worked anywhere else before, and worked there for 70 years.
I mean, I know some people, but not very many.
Right. And for those people, I don't know if I know any.
I work with one of them.
Interesting.
And all he did for 50 years is mow.
Nice.
That's all he did for 50 years.
What a life.
The guy owns 3 houses. uh, 14 sports cars, several bikes.
Nice.
As a mower, like getting paid level 3 job. I don't
Nice.
know how, because he's been there so long, his longevity pay is astronomical. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy that people can just do a simple job and stick with it for their entire life because that's all they know.
So
They don't try to branch out or do anything else.
yeah, Elon's idea with this is, of course, not good. He's a billionaire. None of their ideas are good. But the community of Snailbrook, which boasts more than 100 homes, a grocery store, and a school called Ad Astra, which is Latin for to the stars, represents Musk's move to consolidate his industrial and political power to Central Texas. Snailbrook's development comes amid repeated fines and complaints by Texas cities and environmental regulators, which have found that Musk's companies repeatedly dump industrial waste into lakes, rivers, and wetlands surrounding his facilities. So not only is this an excuse to have his own rivers and lakes that he can dump his bullshit into because he doesn't want to dispose of it properly because that costs money. Stop pretending he's a good guy. He's never done anything good for the world. If you think he has, you're an idiot. It's actually that simple. He makes shitty cars, and you're talking to a guy who used to want a Tesla. Until I looked into Teslas. The idea of one was cool. You know what electric car actually seems pretty dope, though? A Rivian. The Rivian truck, the Rivian R1T, looks fucking awesome.
Stocks in Rivian.
And they're so cool. Like, eventually they're going to be a shitty corporation. That's how corporations work. But currently, they're still super cool.
Right. Yeah, I actually have stocks, and I've had stocks for like 4 years now in Rivian, and they have just struggled. But
yeah,
I'm hoping that like Tesla kind of takes a shit, and they kind of.
I was gonna say Rivian should be on its way up now, anyways. Because so, the Rivian R1T is their little truck. It's not a huge truck, but it's got 420 miles of range. I know this sounds bad, but it's like base price is only 70 grand, which in the world we live in today, actually not that bad.
Right.
Car prices are stupid. Has a towing capacity of up to 11,000 pounds. Which I believe is better than the Cybertruck, and it is better than the Cybertruck because I think the Cybertruck is advertised as higher, but at 10,000 pounds, the steel on the bumper shears off and breaks. It's been tested multiple times. Yeah, the Cybertruck's a piece of shit.
Yeah, so it's up 4% right now, but that doesn't mean much because their shares are $34.80. I bought in and I put $250 into it. I am currently negative $215.
Yeah.
Of $250. So that's been rough. Total gain is negative 86%.
Nice. It'll go up. Rivian just had an issue because something on their vehicles had an issue, so they had a recall, which super drops the stock, but it'll bounce back. It's one of those things. I hate it, but it's true. Every car company has recalls. That's just something that happens. Because again, until you mass deploy something, you don't know what's wrong with it. The issues with the Cybertruck are just if you look at it for a second, you realize it's stupid. An 8,000 pound solid stainless steel truck, which turns out isn't solid stainless steel, but that's not important. Just looking at what it's marketed as. A solid stainless steel truck where the steel, again, 8,000 pounds with a 0 to 60 of less than 3 seconds, where the steel at the front comes to a point. Do you know how fucking dangerous that is? You hit a person and instead of them bouncing up onto the car, which still fucks them up, it just chops them in half. Did we not think about the problems with this design? You fucking assholes.
Wouldn't want them to limp away from it,
I guess not, fucking ridiculous. This is a grand vision because if successful, this model could be scaled and replicated, influencing future tech hubs. Bro is actually trying to turn it. Like, I make the joke that the U.S. isn't capitalist or socialist or whatever. It's a corporatocracy. It's not even a democracy anymore. It's just a corporatocracy. The businesses own everything. Holy fuck, if Elon's not trying to speed that up. Yeah, every town is just owned by a singular company. If you live in that town, you work for that No, dude. But also, new question. Wonder, when are we getting Geek Town?
Whenever you get rich enough to have a town of your own.
That'd be sick, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I was just calling it a cult, and you're absolutely right. It would be a cult.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't always have to be a bad thing.
We call it the Jedi Council. And it's just a town meeting. Town hall meeting.
Yes. Oh, God. Fucking ridiculous, though. Why Central Texas? Well, because it's the easiest place for Elon to evade paying taxes. That's why. Fucking idiot.
Fair.
Like,
the other place would be Wyoming. But
yeah, but nobody fucking wants to move there. So, Wonder, I know you've noticed I'm drinking a can of soda. Do me a favor one day when you're at the store. If you see it, because I think I'm right, but I want to make sure I am. And you drink a lot of soda, so. So this is a 0 sugar Pepsi Wild Cherry. I need you to try this. Because from what I can remember, it tastes exactly the same as a Wild Cherry Pepsi. Like, it doesn't have any of the, like a diet soda. Normally the aspartame has that nastiness. This does not have that.
So back when I was, I would drink diet soda every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like we used to have, I used to have to choose a diet soda so that certain people in my family could have a soda with me.
Sure.
And I always chose the either the regular Coca-Colas.
Yep.
Or the wild cherry zeros or whatever they call them.
So I've also noticed
because I drink enough pop, I can notice a slight difference.
It's also been a decade since I've had. Yeah. So it's like this is what I remember, and it's good.
Right.
And the 0 calorie, no sugar thing is great as a way to stop me from getting caffeine headaches. Because this is actually cheaper than me buying coffee currently. Because I have a thing to make actual pots of coffee. Do you want to know how many pots of coffee I get out of one bag of Starbucks coffee?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to say probably 10.
3. To make coffee strong enough for me to want to drink it, I make 3 pots with a bag of coffee.
See, my coffee maker I make sure I push the extra, extra bold or something like that coffee, like, because you got like light, regular, and like extra bold or something like that. I don't
get buttons like that.
Yeah, so I bought a maker like that, so that way it's like, oh, I don't want to have a super strong, pot of coffee today. All it does is it percolates slower when you want stronger coffee.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I've considered just like putting the coffee through at like filling the thing up less, running the coffee through it, and then refilling the tank with the coffee and just running it through again. But I feel like that would fuck up the coffee pot eventually. So
it would eventually ruin your coffee maker.
Yeah.
Because it will burn.
Yeah.
And cause a film on where the burner's at, and eventually it's just gonna burn out your burner, or it won't get hot enough to percolate.
Yeah. But so cheap alternative to stopping a caffeine headache in the morning.
Yep.
Technically healthier. Not really, because artificial sweeteners are gross, but
right. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Have you seen the Scotty K fitness guy on TikTok? He wears a red hat that's really distressed and fucked up. He makes a lot of like cooking videos, but it's all like protein and like very like macro focused, whatever. Not important. He's a cool dude. My favorite running joke with him, other than the way when he's showing you how to make things, he's like, half a cup of flour, and then he picks up a bowl and it's just in the bowl. The way he says it tickles a part of my brain for some reason. That it's great. But my other favorite bit is every time he so he has two other bits that are good. One where he'll like buy great value cheese and he's like, yes, it's great value, it's not that serious. He's right, great value's fine. The actual best bit though is like he'll get your favorite sugar-free soda or whatever, and then he'll just stop and be all really it'll cut to him really close to the camera and he's just the chemicals. Shut up. His whole thing is telling you how none of it fucking matters. And he's right. Yes, everything can kill you. Everything causes cancer. You know what causes cancer? Living.
Yep.
Get over it, man. Well, why do we get more cancer nowadays? It's because people are living longer. The longer you're alive, the higher your odds for cancer. That is actually just how it works. Yes, right. Certain things, smoking, more likely to give you cancer. It increases the risk. But it's the same thing, right? You can smoke for 20 years and never have an effect. Right. You can stand near a smoker for 5 seconds and get lung cancer. It's just how it works, man.
Right. I think it's more along the lines like some people are just lucky genetic-wise and
100%
have less cancer cells in their body.
100%. It's all luck-based, man. It's all RNG. Mm-hmm. Some of us were blessed. Some of us weren't. It's like dropping into a Fortnite game. It's all RNG.
So both if your parents don't have the cancer cell, you're not going to have that cancer. If one parent has cancer cell and the other parent
if one parent has every cancer cell, you probably just die. Hello.
No, one parent has cancer cell, the other one doesn't. You're probably not going to get that cancer. But you know who will? Your child, your children.
That's fair.
Depending on who you marry and reproduce with.
Yeah.
Because you do have that cancer cell, but it's not gonna.
Yep.
It's not.
It's the active. What are those? Oh my God! What are the fucking squares? You know what I'm talking about? What the fuck are they called?
Fucking squares.
Like when you're going over genes, the Punnett squares. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't remember what they were called, but it's like the squares. It's like, cancer gene, no cancer gene, no cancer, no cancer. There's still a chance you get the cancer gene.
Uh-huh.
Or even if the square has none of it, somehow the combination of it can add up to that. How does that work? I don't fucking know.
Right. Yeah.
Let me tell you, genetics is not where I wanted to focus my brain power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But.
Oh, my folks are on their way.
Yep. We technically can wrap up as soon as needed. The final big piece of news, because I went out of my way last night to find some news to speak about. Skype is dead at 22.
Oh, I haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah, but Skype is officially dead. It no longer works. Which is unfortunate.
Wild.
It was first released in 2003.
Huh.
It was sold over 3 times in the next decade after its creation. It was first sold to eBay, which I did not know. Skype was owned by eBay. Then to the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board, before finally entering the Microsoft family of products in an $8.5 billion acquisition in 2011.
Oh my God.
Oh. In its prime, it boasted well over 100 million monthly users. Important to point out, never for this podcast, but Skype was a major thing at the beginning of my YouTube channel. Because basically every call between me and Anthony was on Skype. If you remember my old YouTube channel, which we're not going to say the name of, the one review of a wrestling show we did, where even in the thumbnail and in the video, Skype didn't have a way to do picture next to picture like we do on Discord right now.
Uh-huh.
So the video on my YouTube channel was Anthony's face really big, with my face a little itty bitty up in the corner, kind of like when you do a FaceTime call on your phone. Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's the only way Skype would operate. Shout out Skype, man. You, I guess, will be missed. Rest in pepperoni.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. in pieces. Oh, gods. Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
I think those were all the topics I had, plus some other random bullshit.
Good.
So, yeah. Are you caught up on Andor?
I think so.
What do you mean you think
Maybe
so?
not. I don't know.
Have you watched all 9 episodes?
I think I need one.
Oh, my Lanta.
9.
Oh,
I don't
dude.
know. I've been so busy and fucking
These last 3 were so good.
ragged.
I'm so... Tuesday, I'm not ready. Dude, I wasn't ready for the last 3 either. Oh, my God. Well, I mean, we all know what's coming. We all know what happens in Rogue One. But, dude, it hurts.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is, indeed.
Oh, my God. Also, other major thing. People are talking about the Acolyte all over the internet again.
Oh, God.
But it's people being smart like me, because people posted the video of the lightsaber duel in Ahsoka, and they were like, yeah, lightsaber duels just suck now. What happened? And everybody's responding with videos of all of the duels in the Acolyte, because every duel in the Acolyte is better than every other duel in every other piece of Star Wars media. Right. I'm never going to get over that motherfucker headbutting a lightsaber. That was sick as hell. So good. But, like, they're replying with it, and it's like, no, you got peak lightsaber fights, but you decided you didn't like it because of who the lead was. And you didn't like that there were Force witches because they shouldn't exist, except you're okay with the Night Sisters because they were pre-established. Well, we want something new. Well, you got something new. This group of witches. Yeah, but we don't like them. We want something new that's not that. Fuck you, dude. Shut up. We're never going to like it. I hate you. It's incredible. Right. Yes, it has its flaws. Have you watched Star Wars? Star Wars is flaws. Every one of them.
Yep. You just have to be passive perceptive like me and just ignore stuff. And
it's like, if you don't like the thing, cool. Like, my biggest thing is you can not like the Acolyte. That's fine. You didn't need to go out of your way to scream so loud. First of all, it's shit that wasn't true, but just in general to scream so loud, forcing it to get canceled, to end us getting... I'm worried that this forces us into a world where the only Star Wars content we get is the 30 years that we've already seen, and that's it. Like, being in the High Republic, being different was cool. New. Right. We got something new, and it was incredible. They set up Darth Plagueis. Season 2 might have been the greatest thing to ever exist. Yeah, Season 1 sucked. Do we remember the Clone Wars at all? Everybody hated the movie and the first season. And then we got more Clone Wars, and it went, oh, they found their groove. This is great. Maybe they just needed to find their groove, man.
Yeah, I thought it was good to begin with. So.
Oh, yeah. Like, yes, it had its flaws. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
But fuck.
Every movie you have to be able to overlook flaws.
Yeah. Nothing's perfect. All right. Settle down. Oh, okay. So Anakin is trending on Twitter, and I was curious as to why. It's because Star Wars Theory posted a video today that is straight up just titled Anakin Did Nothing Wrong. I don't know, posting a video about the child murderer doing nothing wrong on Mother's Day is wild work, man. That's wild work. Also, you know, he literally murdered the wife of his kids. Yeah, no, the mother of his children. He literally killed her.
Right.
So, yeah, nothing wrong, though. He just joined an evil dictatorship. And you can't argue it was for good reasons, because he kept talking about how he wanted power and I. Everything he said was I. It wasn't for others. It was for him. That's not good. You don't do things for yourself and then get to claim you were doing it for the right reasons. That's technically not how that works. Sorry. Okay, you have to go. We're an hour and 15 minutes in, and if I rant about Star Wars for too long, we'll be here for a year. So, without further ado, you got other words?
Nope, just gotta go let my folks in.
All right, without further ado, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.